Hoyane, Yahogane.
Cherokee tribe walked these lands for thousands of years. Warriors, farmers, leaders, a people of wisdom, resilience, and survival. From the powerful councils of the past to the legal battles that shaped a nation, their story is one of triumph against all odds. But what really happened to the Cherokee, and how do they continue to shape America today? This is the untold story of the Cherokee people, and why their legacy still matters.
Some oral traditions and archaeological evidence suggest that the Cherokee migrated southward from the Great Lakes or Ohio Valley region to their historic homelands in what is now North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, and Alabama. It is believed that around 1,000 to 1,500 years ago, the Cherokee moved into the Southern Appalachian region, where they adapted to the rich environment of forests, rivers, and mountains. Over time, they developed a sophisticated society with established towns, agricultural practices, and a strong governance system.
Before European contact, the Cherokee were a thriving and sophisticated society with well-established political, social, and economic structures. They were one of the most powerful indigenous groups in the southeastern United States. The Cherokee people were organized into towns, each with a council house where decisions were made. They followed a clan system, consisting of 7 matrilineal clans, meaning descent and inheritance were traced through the mother. The Cherokee had a dual government system. The white chief led during peaceful times, focusing on diplomacy and internal governance. The red chief took command in times of war. Decision-making was communal, with councils including clan representatives and elders. The Cherokee were skilled farmers, growing the 3 sisters crops, corn, beans, and squash, as well as sunflowers, pumpkins, and tobacco. They also gathered wild plants, nuts, and berries, and practiced sustainable hunting and fishing. Trade was common among other indigenous nations, and they developed extensive trade networks with groups as far as the Great Lakes and Gulf Coast. Cherokee villages typically had 30 to 60 houses made from wattle and daub, wood and clay, and a central council house. They built winter homes that were more insulated and summer homes that were more open and breezy. Large ceremonial and council structures were used for religious ceremonies and governance. The Cherokee followed a spiritual worldview based on balance and harmony. They worshipped the Great Spirit, Unitlanvi, and revered nature, believing in the sacredness of rivers, mountains, and animals. The green corn ceremony was their most important ritual, marking the renewal of life and purification of the community. They had medicine people, shamans or healers, who used herbs, prayers, and sacred knowledge to heal and guide the people. While the Cherokee were primarily agrarian and peaceful, they had a strong warrior tradition. They used bows and arrows, war clubs, and tomahawks for hunting and protection. Fortified villages and strategic positioning in the mountains helped them defend against enemies like the Creek and Shawnee. The Cherokee spoke an Iroquoian language and relied on oral traditions, passing down myths, history, and laws through storytelling. They created intricate basket weaving, beadwork, pottery, and wood carving. Music and dance were important, with ceremonial stomp dances playing a key role in spiritual and social life. The first recorded European contact occurred in the 16th century with Spanish explorers like Hernando de Soto.
By the 18th century, the Cherokee had formed alliances and trade relationships with European settlers, but faced increasing pressure on their lands. This was the reality for tens of thousands of Native Americans in the 1830s, when the United States government forcibly removed them from their ancestral lands. This tragic journey would come to be known as the Trail of Tears. Despite this, some Cherokee remained in the southeast, forming the Eastern Band of Cherokee in North Carolina. President Andrew Jackson, a strong supporter of westward expansion, signed the Indian Removal Act in 1830, giving the government power to relocate native tribes to lands west of the Mississippi, setting the stage for one of the darkest chapters in American history. In 1838, the U.S. Army, under General Winfield Scott, began rounding up over 16,000 Cherokee people. Families were forced from their homes with little warning, often with nothing more than the clothes on their backs. The march was brutal. The Cherokee were made to travel over 1,200 miles through treacherous terrain in the dead of winter. Food was scarce. Disease spread like wildfire. Thousands would never see their homeland again. The Trail of Tears was a tragedy, but it was not the end. The Cherokee and other tribes who endured forced removal never gave up their identity. Today, the Cherokee Nation is one of the largest and most influential Native American tribes in the U.S., proving that even in the face of cruelty and injustice, survival is possible. Cherokee clothing before European contact was made primarily from natural materials such as animal hides, plant fibers, and woven textiles. Over time, European influence introduced new materials like wool and cotton, which were incorporated into traditional attire. Cherokee regalia is deeply tied to cultural identity, spirituality, and social status, often worn during ceremonies, dances, and important events. Before European influence, Cherokee clothing was functional, adapted to the climate and seasons.
The Cherokee syllabary is a unique writing system developed by Sequoyah in the early 19th century. Unlike alphabets that use individual letters to represent sounds, the syllabary consists of characters that represent syllables, making it a highly efficient and innovative system for writing the Cherokee language. Once the syllabary was introduced, literacy among the Cherokee skyrocketed. Within a few years, most Cherokee could read and write in their language. In 1828, the Cherokee Nation launched the Cherokee Phoenix, the first Native American newspaper, published in both Cherokee and English. The syllabary remains widely used in Cherokee communities, taught in schools and language programs. It is recognized in Unicode, meaning it can be typed and displayed on modern devices. Digital tools like Cherokee language apps and keyboard layouts have helped revitalize Cherokee literacy. The Cherokee were among the first Native nations to adopt diplomatic relations with European settlers, signing treaties with the British and later the U.S. government. The Treaty of Hopewell in 1785 and Treaty of New Echota in 1835 were major agreements that defined U.S. Cherokee relations, though many treaties were later broken by the U.S. government.
The Cherokee Nation is one of the most politically active Native American nations today, advocating for tribal sovereignty, economic development, and cultural preservation. In 2019, the Cherokee Nation appointed Kimberly Teehee as its first delegate to the U.S. Congress, a right granted in the 1835 Treaty of New Echota, though Congress has not yet formally seated her. Cherokee citizens have held important positions in U.S. politics, including Wilma Mankiller is first female principal chief of the Cherokee Nation. Kevin Stitt is governor of Oklahoma of Cherokee descent. The Cherokee Nation operates as a self-governing entity with its own constitution, courts, and law enforcement. It engages in federal policy advocacy, influencing Native American healthcare, education, and land rights. The Cherokee support tribal sovereignty cases in the U.S. Supreme Court, including McGirt v. Oklahoma in 2020, which upheld Native land rights. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed learning about the Cherokee tribe. If you found this video informative, be sure to leave a comment and let us know your thoughts. And for more videos, like and subscribe. See you in the next one.